Hey guys, welcome to Squadron Live on Wednesday night. It is Wednesday night again, and I'm excited to be here as I always am. I always look forward to this, hanging out with you guys. Thank you for being here. It has been a very busy week for us, as Dr. Modelstein just informed you that we are working on expanding a little bit within our walls that we already have. But you can't really expand beyond the walls as easy as you can expand up. So we're taking more advantage of that vertical space. And there's a lot of space up there, so it's going to be a real good thing for us. But like like we always say, there's only so much time in the day, and we use every second of it. I promise you that. We have a very fun show, or at least I hope it's going to be fun tonight. Another triple play. This concept we started a few weeks ago, where we try to do 3 different topics all in the same show as quickly as we can. It's actually here at the last minute of just a couple of minutes before the show. We're going to have to actually turn this into more of a double play. John Brooks, something came up at the last minute, and he's not going to be able to join us. If he happens to join us later in the show, we will put that artillery segment back in. We'll fit it in somehow. But for now, we're just going to do a double play, and we're going to take a look at Jim Maddox. He's got an awesome diorama that he's done. So we're going to just talk about building dioramas, and I know we've talked about that a lot lately as far as scratch building and kit bashing and all that kind of stuff goes. So we're going to hear from Jim on how he does that, how he makes that approach. And then we're going to hear about some model shows coming up. I mentioned in the last couple of weeks that I wanted to start opening up this show for some of the IPMS and non-IPMS, any model club group, chapter, organization, whatever the case may be, from around the country, clubs that have model contest, conventions, shows, whatever it is that they call their event. We want to start giving them the floor to promote their show, because we talk a lot about our local shows down here in the Atlanta and the Chattanooga area. Jeff talks about a lot of his shows up near Wisconsin, but those aren't the only shows, and we've got a lot of friends, a lot of customers all around the country, and I want you guys to be able to know about those shows too, just in case you are in that area and you'd be able to make it. So we'll hear from those in just a few minutes. As the doctor told you, we've got a pretty cool new feature on our website. At least I hope that you will like it. We've been working on this for a little while. I'll show it to you real quick, and then we'll jump into the diorama. But on our website, well, little sneak peek there. Oops. Here's our website, and oh, well, I might as well mention this because a lot of people have been asking about this. The 200 scale USS Stevens has finally been announced as coming in early 2026. So we don't have a price here yet, but jump in here, put your email address in, and push the notify me button, and that way you will be on the list. As soon as we get a price established, you'll get an email automatically. But anyway, that's not what I want to show you right now. Up here at the top, this new menu, this is what we've been working on, kind of reorganizing the website. You can shop by brand. You can see all the new stuff, the pre-orders, our closeout sale, all these things. And then you get over here into the categories. Now you can go straight to your 48 scale aircraft or 72 armor or 200 scale ships, whatever you like. Go straight to that section. We have split the military models from the non-military models. So under other models, you'll find your cars, your sci-fi, your figures. The Gundam section, you see it listed there. There are no kits in there yet. This is something that we're slowly but surely working on. And since we had a new menu being built, we went ahead and put the category there. So when the product does arrive, it will have a home on our website. And then you've got educational models, dinosaurs, outer space, all the other stuff that's the non-military will be under here. Of course, we've still got all of our accessories, our paints, and some of these, as we get into the paints and the tools, airbrushes, same situation as the Gundam stuff. They're on the way. They're in the works. They're not on the website yet, but they have a home as soon as they get here. But some of these categories in here, they're kind of still in the works. So if you click on Vallejo clears, for example, you're probably going to get all the Vallejo products. But this is a work in progress. We're getting there. Step 1 was getting the menu done. We got the books and all of our hats and shirts and things like that. The Rivet Counting, the white pages, as Jeff calls them, his ship camouflage, his tech data sheets like the 20mm Oerlikon sheet, all that stuff will be listed under this Rivet Counting section, and there'll be more of that to come. The About Us, we're working on, if you saw the 2023 catalog, that huge write-up of our history, that's going to be here soon. And now we have a cool little map on here too. So anybody that's curious where we are and how to get to us, you can find it now. And the we've been here for over a year, and Google Maps still has us in the middle of a dirt field. But I promise you there is, in fact, a building there, and that is where we are. But that is the new menu, the new category tree. Now that it's in place, now we're working on getting everything sorted. It's better than it was. It's still not perfect, but we're working on it as quick as we can. You might have noticed if you shop on your mobile device, your phone, or even your iPad, or if you have a small computer screen, the menu was not really working since this weekend. That is because we had to get it in place on the main site first and then modify the code to work on mobile, and that took place earlier this morning. So the phones do finally work. So that is, I believe, everything on the website for now. We've got all sorts of new stuff. Make sure to go check out the new arrivals from this week. All sorts of cool stuff. So check that out. And that's going to be all for that. For the moment, let me go ahead and introduce our first guest for this evening. After I bring on our regulars, Jeff and Tom. You guys tonight.
How we doing?
I got a list over here of everything I'm supposed to say in which order, and I didn't save it and I closed it, so I'm going off the cuff.
So your teleprompter quit halfway through your speech, huh?
Yeah, pretty much, but that's all right. I kind of remember what we're supposed to do.
Hey, we'll just make it up as we go along. I mean,
absolutely.
Well, you guys got a chance to see this diorama that Jim created.
Yes,
he had it at the Hampton Nationals this year,
and
then right before the show started, we were talking backstage, and Tom, you mentioned, I didn't even realize that he had it in Texas.
San Marcos.
Yeah, San Marcos a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So now that you mentioned that, I remember seeing it there. I just didn't put two and two together that this was the same diorama.
Yeah, I took a lot of pictures at San Marcos of it, so I didn't take any this time at the Hampton show.
Right. Well, it's neat, and for the past few weeks, ever since you did your first kit bash thing on the last triple play, kit bashing and scratch building, that has kind of been a topic that always comes up on Wednesday nights now. And doing a diorama like this, it always involves some kind of scratch building, whether it's just the groundwork or the building or something.
Yep.
And as we go through this with Jim, he's got us a nice slideshow prepared showing kind of the steps that he went through it. And we'll get to see exactly what trouble he went to make this happen. Now, every diorama is not this extravagant, and certainly there are dioramas out there that are even more extravagant than this. But this is a really nice size. It's got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, I mean it is, but it's got a little bit of everything, I think. So I'm really excited to hear what Jim has to say about that.
Well, I've done one like that. It just wasn't that large, but it was it's a Vietnam, the Tet Offensive in the city of Hue. And it was Vietnam, and it was probably a 3 feet by 6 feet. It's a pretty good sized diorama on its own. Well,
regardless of what size diorama you're doing, if you're doing a little bitty base with a tank and a couple figures, or you're going to do your whole room, it doesn't matter. Everything that Jim has done, the techniques apply to whatever it is you're doing. So I'm excited to see what he has to say. So let's bring Jim on. Jim, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. Well,
thank you for joining us tonight. I'm looking forward to hearing all about what you did with this diorama. So
I'm happy to share.
Absolutely. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself first. Where do you live? How did you get into modeling?
I live in Northwest Arkansas near Fayetteville. I teach at the University of Arkansas. So I've been a professor for 32 years. So I've been doing it for a long time. And started out model building with the Young Model Builders Club. I don't know if anybody out there remembers that. You get a model a month, and then like a lot of people, I quit modeling when I got my car keys.
Yes.
And then back in, I don't know, probably 5 years before, let's see, 2015, 2016, we were moving my mom out of her house, the house I grew up in, and she was moving to an Alzheimer's facility. So, not a happy time, but we were moving her out of her house. And in my old bedroom, that had been converted back into a garage, because my bedroom was the garage that was converted into a bedroom. I found a bunch of my old models that had never been thrown away.
Cool.
And they were crap. I mean, just basically piles of testers, glue, and paint. And I just thought, I think I'm going to pick this back up. And so I bought a ton of tools and started buying a bunch of kits, and then didn't do anything with it. And it all just sat. And then when COVID hit, I'm like, I've got all these models sitting here. I think I'm going to start building stuff, because I'm, everybody's going stir crazy.
Right.
And so I started looking at what I wanted to do, and I wanted to start. I started with the diorama. I mean, I love the movie Enemy at the Gates.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, I want to do something around Stalingrad. And so I started researching and looking at vehicles and trying to think of I've got Shep Payne's book right here. So I'm like, okay,
there you go.
What's the story I want to tell? And I know I violated most of his rules with the size of this thing. And so, but I just, I made it 3 foot by 6 foot, because that's what I could fit through the doorway in the hobby room I had at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew it would fit in my car, in our Subaru Outback. If I needed to transport it. So because I measured the vehicle. Yeah. And so,
that's kind of important. So being able to carry it is important, as Richard Hart found out last week with his Yamato.
He couldn't take it home.
He couldn't take it home.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't fit in his car, but it fit in the SUV his wife left with.
Wow. So this, Jim, is your first model back into model building.
Yeah, and it started out with just a bunch of individual kits. And as I was building the kits, I started trying to think, and it just kind of kept expanding.
Here's your kit list, by the way, Jim.
When I found the Sturmovich, I'm like, okay, I got to add this in somehow.
Yeah.
And and I wanted a down Stuka, and so the story just kind of evolved from there. And so just started, and I built it almost like multiple dioramas. So there's almost like little vignettes within the whole storytelling.
Right.
And as I read more about Stalingrad, and I read the book Enemy at the Gates, which is completely different than the movie.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's just a historical account. It gets way down in the weeds with troop movements but I was fascinated by the battle and just the scope of it. And I thought, you can't really tell that story with a small, just like one vehicle, and maybe one bombed out building. So I started thinking about what I wanted to do. And I was fascinated by the tank factory that was there. The factory that I built in this, that I scratch built, isn't really a tank factory, but it's just a factory. And so some of this inspiration came from a gaming table that I saw online for like Warhammer or one of those. And so I don't know if you've got the one picture that shows kind of the base. The base is just a thin MDF particle board from like Lowe's. And then I put the pink foam board on top, and I tried to layer it so that it's not all just completely flat. And so
you got to have contours.
There's some contour to it.
Yeah.
And so and then I just built it, you know, like individually. I would just work on one building, not on the table, but just on my workbench. Like there's the factory.
Cool.
And it's scratch built with foam board. Just some of the plastic is from like Woodland Scenics, or some of it's the evergreen and some of it's the Plastruck. And then that's just like the 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch pink foam board.
That stuff is great, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the white, or the black. Yep. I don't even know what you call that. That I made the walls out of.
Is that the stuff like kids use for school projects? That like kind of hard foam board?
Yeah, that you use for like a science fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got surfaces on both sides, and you got foam in the middle.
Yeah, and so there's one of the buildings, and I just used balsa wood to make the trim, and then just
that looks good.
Painted it, and I'm really fortunate that my wife is an art teacher, and so somewhere in here she got me a little Tyrannosaurus Rex color wheel.
All right,
and so because I was telling her about listening to color theory on one of the podcasts, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's basic art. Here's a color wheel that the kindergartners use."
There you go.
Yeah, so fire away with questions. The factory, the brick, I bought that paper on eBay from a company like out of either the Czech Republic or Ukraine.
Okay, so you carved and shaped the building, but then that brick pattern there is a sheet that you put on. Okay, that's cool.
I glued that on, and so you can see where the seam or the sheets where one ended and the other one started. I tried to cover that up later with like the guttering.
Yeah,
and
perfect.
So
looks good to me.
Yeah, and so just using modeling paste, like the I'm trying to think of the brand. Yeah, there's kind of where I started trying to lay out where things were going to be. I wanted a trench, and wanted some of the bombed out buildings. Those are some of the scratch built parts in the factory, the catwalk, and some of the inside structures of that.
Now, when you're laying something out like this, Jim, how many times did you move these buildings around before you were happy? I mean, or did you have in your mind what you thought you wanted it to look like?
Yeah, I drew it out on paper, on some just a graph paper, but then a lot of it was just trial and error. I mean, I kind of tried to make things to scale. It's 1/35 scale. So with the buildings, I tried to think, okay, if it's a 6-story building, here's how tall it needs to be in 1/35 scale. And so, and then just kind of trial and error. I drew it out on, I don't know if you can see on one of the photos, it's kind of a overhead view of the whole base.
Yeah. And here's your question from the chat. Jim Arnell says, what references did you use for the diorama? Online, books?
A lot of online. This book here by MIG Ammo. It's Stalingrad vehicle colors.
Cool.
And it's pretty much got all the vehicles that were at Stalingrad. And so, I don't know how many times I watched Enemy at the Gates and just would pause it and like take a screenshot of a scene, and then just the cockpit of the I think that's the Stuka, the one that's downed.
Okay.
I went way down in the weeds with the seat belts. I found those, I don't know where online, but you had to build the little buckles. You had to thread them through the buckles. I went way down the weeds with that. And I'm not an aircraft builder. This was the first plane I built since I was a kid.
Wow.
And so,
well, you've got all this scratch building going for all the buildings, but then this list that we pulled up a minute ago, this is your list of the actual model kits that are in this diorama. And this is a bunch of kits.
Yeah, I don't think it started. I didn't mean for it to start out like that, but it just, it's kind of like if as a kid, I had an HO scale train layout.
Yeah.
And, you know, if anybody is into model railroading, you don't really ever finish those. And so that's kind of how this started out. So there's an early part of the base. You know, I wanted a rail line because there's some cool 1/35th scale box cars and a flat car. I can't
Russians
remember.
have got a lot of armored trains too.
The armored train that I had in there.
Yes.
I'm trying to think, who is that by? Is that hard?
I think Hobby Boss makes
Hobby
some.
Boss.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted that in there. There really weren't many reference photos of it from Stalingrad, but I found some pictures and used the paint scheme for that.
Yeah, it was there somewhere.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you, Jim. The whole thing caught my eye, but when I got to looking, your train stuff really stood out to me because I like that kind of stuff, and I thought that was neat that you included that with the rest of the diorama.
Mm-hmm.
I like the armored trains; they're cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to build.
So let me ask you, Jim, when you envisioned this project, did it start out as a smaller project and you kept adding to it, or did you
once I decided
the base?
Yeah, once I decided I wanted to do Stalingrad, then I was like, okay, I'm gonna what size base can I build and still get it out of the basement hobby room.
Right. So you envisioned a 3x6 and then filled the space versus.
Yeah, I started out thinking it was going to be like a 4x8 sheet of MDFF, and I'm like, okay, 4x8, and I'm like, no, that's too big to get in and out of the room. Plus, with the 4 feet, I can't really reach across it.
Right.
That's a good point.
True. Very true.
Chris wants to know, where do you keep something that big?
Well,
no, there you go.
You can see it on
There you go.
table behind me. I'm really fortunate that, one, I'm an empty nester. Our kids are all out of the house, and so and then we have this room that's just a hobby room. My wife's an art teacher, so she paints. So she's got like one little corner in this room where her paint supplies are, and she's got some brushes that I'm not supposed to use, that are expensive, but no. So she teases when she will say half the house is Jim's hobby stuff. And so
I had that same complaint.
That's probably a common statement amongst everybody in this room.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Well, I'm not taking it to it's retired. I figured 2 nationals was enough.
Right.
And so,
that
picture
then,
there, that's like the rabbit fence, the little wire that's like the little 1/4-inch squares that you get from a store.
Oh yeah.
So the question now begs, if this is retired, what's the next big project?
Yeah.
Well, at Hampton, I had a diorama that was in the tiger meat area of Von Ryan's Express.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And it didn't really turn. I put it in the tiger meat because I didn't like I spent a lot of time on the inside walls and the cavern and the scratch building the bridge, but the 2 planes that were in it, I kind of threw together. So I didn't really like how those looked. And I couldn't figure out a way to make it like a box diorama that looked, any quality. So, but then the other one I had at Hampton was the Indiana Jones, the Indy hitches a ride on the sub.
Oh yeah. I like that. That was yours. Cool.
And so that one was mine.
That's cool.
And so, so what I'm working on, I've got, and I've kind of reached a kind of stalled out on it, building the 2 guns from the Guns of Navarone.
Oh yes.
Nice.
And so, but that's just all scratch build, and I'm struggling with it. So I've moved on. I'm working on a World War I diorama armor.
Oh, I love World War I stuff.
And so I've really enjoyed getting some of the World War I kits.
Yes, they are fun to deal with.
And then I'm working on it's a really shift. I'm working on the Aurora monster models. I've got some of those I've been building, and I'm going to put those in some type of diorama.
Yeah, those make cool dioramas. I've seen collections of those guys, and they put it all in one diorama, all the old Aurora models, monster models, and it was
Yeah,
very well done.
Yeah, I've got 11 of the kits, and
Yeah.
I've been building them all 11 simultaneously.
Oh, wow.
And so,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So
I saw
they're,
one.
They're in different stages. Here's
The creature.
there's
And
the creature,
Frankenstein.
and there's Frankenstein. They're still being
Frankenstein.
they're still in work. They're
Ooh.
not finished yet. But
Years and years ago, and here's maybe a little motivation for you. I was at a show up in Montreal, and someone had done a diorama of the creature from the Black Lagoon, but rather than it just being the creature from the Black Lagoon, it was a diorama of them filming the movie set.
That's cool.
oh, that is cool.
So it
That's
had
cool.
the backdrops, and it had all the rigging and the lighting and the gaffing, and a bunch
That's
of guys
cool.
standing around, and they had movie cameras, and then the creature. That's when he was carrying a what was the damsel in distress?
Oh, I can't remember her
I want to
name.
say Adrienne Barbeau, but
No, it's not
it
Adrienne
it
Barbeau.
was she was a later iteration, but whoever the
Yes.
damsel in distress was, she was basically standing there, and she's got like a jacket over her, and the creature from the Black Lagoon has his head off.
Oh, okay.
So it's the guy in the suit, but he's got a human head, and he's holding it like a like a football helmet. It was absolutely amazing. So maybe that's that kind of off the cuff, third dimension. Julie Adams, thank you.
Yeah, Julie Adams.
Yes, that's her.
Well,
Yeah,
I got these pictures going through here, Jim. This barbed wire you got going, how'd you do that?
Okay, so the barbed wire, I took really thin gauge wire and first just stretched it across the room and doubled it up.
Okay.
Hooked it on a nail, and then took the other end and attached it into a drill bit.
Wow.
And did it all, did the inside strand just all tight. And then I took another strand, and I'll try to explain it. I would wrap it around like 3 times and then make like a loop, and wrap it around 3 times and make a loop in the other direction. So you had this loop going up and down the double strand. And then I went back in with little cutters
and just cut
off the loop, and all it left was the
that's really nice
piece.
That turned out really, really nice.
Yeah.
And you see it running across the back there.
I watched a lot of football games making that. My wife said it looked like she said it looked like I was knitting.
Talking about watching football games, that kind of goes into Frank's question. He says, how long did this whole diorama take you?
A little over 2 years.
Okay.
Wow. I can see that.
And of course, someone pointed out at in San Antonio, they were quite concerned that that there was how I got the artillery gun in that embankment, because there's no ramp in or out.
They used a crane.
Well, you can use the adage that I have used since I started in this hobby. There's one in every crowd.
Well, yeah.
They moved it in there, and then they put the dirt back around it.
That's right. They filled it back in. There's the armor train.
Yeah. And I like have you got the plane up high. That's kind of cool. Good use of a clear rod.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that chimney comes off. It's there's a tube that goes down into through like the 4 or 5 inches of the foam board.
Telescopic.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the tall one just pops off, and then there's like the inside tube that it fits inside to hold it.
So how much setup is actually involved when you
just that?
This?
I take the plane down and put it in a box, pack it, and then I take the chimney and set it aside, and then the rest of the board is all one piece.
Fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of answers David's question there about, so all the trains and the tanks and everything, they're fixed to it?
It's all glued down. Yep.
Wow.
It's all static.
Okay.
Which, you know, then you can't play with it or move it around. But
well, it keeps it from shifting around in the car. And like
and to get it out, to get it to a doorway, we tilt it on its side. And so each time we've tilted it on its side, I lose a little bit of groundwork.
Yeah.
And probably a couple of days off your life.
Yes.
Wow. No, this is just a really, really, really nice job.
Yep.
Yeah.
What did you use for that snow?
Like Woodland Scenics, the white powder that's in the little shaker deal.
Yep.
Yeah, I went way down the rabbit hole of looking at different types of groundwork stuff from all the different brands. And you know, Woodland Scenics, and then just the evergreen plastic, the Plastruck, just foam board, and then like the liquid to make the I didn't do resin. It's the poured stuff that like what model railroaders use for making rivers or water. And so
well, your barbed wire looks fantastic. Did you do something similar with the power lines? Is that some more of your wire?
Those are just regular just wire. And like for some of the rigging on that submarine in the Indiana Jones, I used the easy line that railroaders use that stretches super stretchy.
Yep.
And I thought about doing it for this, but then I was like, well, that's too neat. And so I wanted it just to be the wires that half of them were hanging down and stuff. And so, but in terms of the storyline, you can see there's the gun crew there, and they're admiring their work because they shot down that Stuka. And then you got the Sturmovich that's flying overhead, kind of basically kind of showing off. And there's a sniper team, one of the Zvezda kits that are in the one building. And then you've got the group of soldiers that are on the tank that are approaching. There's just a couple of Germans left. And then there's a couple of German soldiers carrying on a stretcher, the pilot from the plane. And so,
now, have you got Scalefest here was talking about any hidden Easter eggs? You got anything hiding in there that you might not notice unless you know where to look?
Yes. And it's kind of hiding in plain sight.
Okay.
That's a good one.
So, I'm trying to think of where on the picture. It's by the, the sewer. So there's the sniper up there, but there's a civilian. It's the only resin in the kit.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if we can see him on which one of the pictures.
Tell me to stop if we go past one.
No, keep going. If you find a picture that shows the sewer, go back. Oh,
there's this.
Yeah. If you zoom in there, there's an old man sitting on that bench.
Give me a second. I got to pull that picture up so I can zoom. Let's see. Bear with me. Oh, doesn't let me zoom.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so you can see him right there.
There's an old man sitting on a bench.
Right, just to the right of where it steps, where the base steps up.
Steps down. Yeah, I think I see him there. Yes, I do.
Yeah, he's a civilian. It's an elderly man, and he's just sitting on the bench. And the title of the diorama is The Cost of War.
There you go. There he is.
So so he's just sitting there,
minding his own business.
It's like, when am I going to get my city back?
Wow.
Yeah. And it's just kind of looking at the cost of war because there's just total destruction.
Well, that is really neat.
One of my favorite scenes from the Enemy at the Gates movie was the scene where they had the Heinkel 111 sitting in the city streets, and they're using it as a hiding place for the snipers. And I always thought that was a cool scene.
Yeah.
That kind of reminded me of your Stuka.
Someone at the beginning said that they thought this had a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So just I had to like quit when I was ahead, because I was trying to find a model of one of those boats that they were transporting at the beginning of the movie when they're going across.
Oh yeah, the troop
they're going across the Volga River.
Yes.
And I tried to find a boat that I could like put at one of the ends. And I was like, okay, Jim, you don't need a boat. You don't need to add to this. And so
here's a question for you, Jim. And this is a question that's a good one. Alan says, how do you keep something like this from getting dusty over time?
So I dust it. I try to dust it regularly. In the house I'm in now, I don't, but in the house I was in before, I had it, I actually had it suspended from the ceiling, so it was up high.
Oh, wow.
And so,
whoa.
Yeah, the whole thing was basically kind of hugging the ceiling. And so, and I had the smokestack down. So that kept, I mean, it really didn't get much dust because it was so up high, but
yeah,
I thought about putting like a sheet over it. I'm a little bit nervous to do. I don't know what that would really do, but yeah, I think over time it's going to degrade in terms of both dust and just the groundwork will break down.
Make
I think
a plexiglass cover for it.
That's true.
Yeah.
My nice plexiglass cover, you know, it wouldn't cost you that much, and they're easy to build.
Yeah, you could do that.
I do them all the time.
Yeah, that's part of doing something so big is you gotta have somewhere to store it.
That's true.
You know, dust, all that kind of stuff. It's just part of it. But this is a fantastic job, Jim. We've got some other guests in here. We got John Novak and John Fluck, and we're going to talk about model shows in just a few minutes. But first, I want to bring these guys in and hear what they have to say. They've been sitting backstage watching your diorama and listen to all this. So I'd like to bring them in and see what they have to say. Hey, John and John, how are you guys?
Good here. Yep.
You guys are just sitting in the back being patient, waiting your turn. I appreciate it. But you've been watching this, listening to us. What do you think about this big diorama? John, we'll start with John Novak. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah, pretty amazing. I saw it at Nationals and took a bunch of photos. And you know, it's one of those dioramas. Well, actually, there are very few like it. There's just so much to it. You can come back to it and see it from a different angle and see something else going on. There's a lot to see, and I think it's a great example of what's really cool about shows, and especially Nationals, because the quantity and the quality. But when you go to shows, you see things like this that are certainly outside of my sphere of ability, right? And something that somebody else put so much into. And you get a chance to look at it up close and appreciate it, and it kind of makes you rethink some things about your own modeling. And if nothing else, it gives you something to appreciate.
Absolutely. What about you, John Fluck? I mean, what?
Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it down at Hampton.
Okay.
But this is incredible. You know, I can't imagine the hours that Jim spent working on this. You know, it's way beyond what I could do.
Right.
And
well, do you do anything like this? Do you do any kind of diorama stuff? Is this your no? Okay. Well,
no, I wish I did, but this is like, wow. It is really incredible.
Yeah.
So Jim, how many contest coordinators have lost your mind when you say you need 6 feet of table space?
it does kind of, yeah. I have to communicate that up front, and they're like, okay. Yeah, and Hampton told me, they said, well, get here early,
right?
So you're sure to get a spot. And so, so I came in the night before, and so, yeah.
Now, do you have, I know you were talking about some of the other things you want to work on. Have you already got a game plan for Nationals next year in Fort Wayne? Will you be going up there?
Yep. I've got my hotel booked. And so,
now it's just a matter of finishing the model.
Yeah. So the plan right now is I would like to have those monster ones. And then I'd like to have the World War I one done by then.
Mm-hmm.
I actually started a car diorama last year, and then just got kind of bored with it because I hadn't built cars since I was, a kid.
I got you.
And the patience to put the finish on them. But I've got kits of the 3 cars that I drove in high school. And so a 68 Bug, a 63 Impala, and a 70 Cougar. And I've got the kits built. They're not fully painted yet, but I'm going to build a facade of my mom's house, the house I grew up in. And they'll be in the driveway out front.
Well, good deal. Well, I look forward to seeing all that.
So, that's the vision, but we'll see if it comes to fruition.
Oh, I'm sure you're gonna knock it out of the park, buddy. I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, this all started from building things out of cardboard as a kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've come a long way, and everything looks great.
Well, thank you.
Speaking of shows, let's transition to talking specifically about shows. Mr. Fluck, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and Duneland IPMS and where you guys are and what we can expect from your show if we're able to attend?
Okay, I'm with IPMS Duneland. We're located in Northwest Indiana. Our contest is going to be held at on Saturday, October 11th at the Hobart, Indiana Moose Lodge. It's located at 143 South Hobart Road in Hobart, Indiana. This is our 4th year that we've started redoing the contest. Years ago, Duneland was chartered in 1992, I believe it was. And shortly after that, we started having contests every year up until about 2010. And the basic group of guys that put the club together sort of dissolved. A lot of us left the club. And then around 2018, I got back into the club and we worked on getting a contest. Like I say, this is our 4th year now. Our first year that we had it, we had to find a place. The Hobart Moose Lodge was an old roller skating rink.
Yep.
And I talked to the people at the lodge, and we were able to put on a show. Our first show, we had about 575 entries,
wow.
Which we were hoping for like 350, and we scrambled because we were tight on table space.
Yeah.
Did you get any 6-foot long models?
we didn't have anything like that, but I'll tell you what, I had never seen as many car models.
Yeah.
At our contest that year is what most IPMS shows have. Things that we had, we've went to, we have 53 vendor tables available. We do one thing that we do that I think is a little bit different than most shows. We do a lot of special awards. We have 22 special awards. Best Ford, best Chevy, best Mopar, best German Armor, stuff like that. It's on our webpage, IPMS Duneland.org. If you look for it, we also have a Facebook page. We have 56 categories. We do first, second, and third. We don't do gold, silver, bronze.
Okay.
2 years ago, we did a survey, and the majority of people wanted to stay with first, second, and third, so we've stayed with that for right now. The admission, if you want to enter models, is $12 for unlimited entries.
Wow.
The general admission is $5.
Yep. Still one of the best deals in the region.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We actually have a really good hall to hold it in. The Moose Lodge is great. One of the things that we like to say is if you want to enjoy an adult beverage while you're at a model contest, there is the facilities there. There's a bar. We also have a food truck again this year. It's going to have gourmet hot dogs and some other sandwiches.
Nice.
So the judging goes from 12:30 to 2:30 approximately, and we hope to get the awards done at 3:30 or start. We only announce the kids awards and the special awards. We don't do first, second, third, and all the categories. And we also don't close down the model room during judging.
Okay.
It was one of the big things, and somebody comes in half an hour before judging starts and they get kicked out of the model room. They don't get to see the models. So we try and keep it open for everybody to see. So
I've been to this show every year except one, and I have a good excuse for the one that I missed because my appendix exploded like 2 days before the show. So I was in the hospital. I couldn't go. I wanted to. I was there in spirit. But I've gone as both a participant, a contestant. I've helped him. I did photography for John one year. I've gone as a vendor, and it's great. It's one of the it's really one of the up and coming shows in the region.
Well, anybody that's there, you need to go support this show, and
absolutely.
Let's turn this show into one of the big shows.
One of the things that we have too is we started last year is the best armor, best aircraft, best automotive, and the best of the rest of the categories. We give a $50 gift certificate, and it's going to be to Squadron this year for each of those.
Cool.
And the one thing about it is our club members are not eligible for that. So,
okay.
Very nice. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. Take some pictures, and so we can all see it.
Will do.
All right. Well, Mr. Novak, tell us a little bit about your show. Your show is one of the ones that's been around for a little while, and that's one of those names that perhaps some of these guys have heard of. So give us a little info about the Butch O'Hare show.
Okay. Well, to start off, I'll address the Duneland show. So that's one that this year will be my 4th year in a row going to that show. It's one of the local shows that I don't miss. I volunteer to judge. It's we're all sort of part of the same group. There's a handful of shows that we all sort of jointly attend, and right.
Madison and Butch O'Hare and Duneland and State Line and NIMCON. Yeah.
So I'll see you on October 11th, John. So on to our show. Yeah. So this year will be our 42nd show.
Wow.
Over a span of 43 years because obviously COVID. We've been doing it a while. I was not in the club back then, obviously. So our show is going to be on November 15th. The venue changed from last year. We were at a church last year. Previous to that, we were at the DuPage County Fairgrounds for 3 years. It's a decent venue. It's a good venue. There are some photos if you want to show them.
Well, I'm trying to find them. I pulled up. I guess I just wanted to look at this diorama again.
Yeah, no, that's okay. The biggest complaint we had was the lighting. And so we moved to a nice church last year. They had that photo, the one that popped up. That's the church vendor room from last year. So we had 70 vendor tables. I loved the vendor room. Our contest rooms were a bit segmented. And this year, we would have gone back to the church, but it wasn't available this year. So I contacted the DuPage County Fairgrounds. I complained about the lighting, and I was willing to maybe sign a multi-year contract if they would replace the lighting. They had already replaced the lighting. So anybody who was at our show previously and knows how bad the lighting was, because it was pretty bad. You could see in one of the other photos. Yeah, do you see? Okay, there's one where there's like open trusses up
right there.
Yep. The lighting was so bad they wrapped Christmas lights around to try to enhance it a little, rather than replacing the bulbs and maybe putting in some brighter LEDs. So now they have those super powerful LEDs that if you happen to look up and catch one just right, you're blind for about 2 minutes. So, but the lighting's really good. Just don't look up. So yeah, it's a good facility. It's a lot of space. It's I want to say it's 11,000 square feet. So it gives us enough space we have excess contest space. It's split in two halves pretty much. And so we can adjust where the line is between the two. If we have more vendors, if we sell 70 tables, which would be a lot for this facility, we can accommodate it. Otherwise, we just have more breathing room really, and more table space. So the tables aren't that crowded in the contest area. The theme this year, groovy 70s. We like to go with themes that are somewhat broad. You want to focus it somewhat, but I don't want to rule out. I don't want people to feel they're left out. If there's shipbuilders, tank builders, car builders, sci-fi, whatever, there's always something that fits our categories typically.
That's a good. That's
right there, 1970.
It is 1970.
Oh, look at that! You finally got it.
Well, you better hurry. Our show's coming up, man.
Well, that sounds awesome, John. And both of you guys, I guess I didn't ask this, just so our listeners know, these are IPMS sanctioned events. Is that correct?
Yes.
Duneland and Butch O'Hare both. Okay. To enter the contest, do we need to be IPMS members?
No.
Okay.
So most of the I guess policies or prices and such are similar from show to show. We same as Duneland, we have $5 general admission. Kids under 12 are free. We do a $10 entry fee for your first two models, and then $4 for each additional model. And the reason we do that is it's kind of tied to the gold, silver, bronze judging method. So the challenge there is we don't know how many medals we're going to give out. Whereas if you have categories, you're going to have first, second, and third, unless you don't have three. You might only give out first and second in a category. For us, we have no idea how many models are going to be at each tier of quality, really, because gold, silver, bronze. I don't know if you guys have gone over it before, but it's basically each model is judged against itself.
Yeah, theoretically, you could give one theoretically to every single model.
In theory, if they're all at least bronze level, yes.
Yep.
And I guess over time, you could say that the criteria do adapt, but in general, you're looking for the same things.
Yes.
From show to show, from year to year, and so it does fluctuate. Ideally, we like when about half the models in the show get some type of medal. And when you're giving out that many medals, and medals have gotten kind of pricey, so
yes, they have.
Somebody shows up with 12 models and they're all at least bronze quality. Well, that's why it's $4 for each additional model, because otherwise, we take a bath on that guy.
and we also have to remember that and how do you say this without? Well, I'm just going to say it. There's nothing disparaging about it. If you're running a show in Arkansas, in Jim's neck of the woods, you can get a haul for $1,000. If you're running a show in the greater Chicago area, you can't get a haul for $1,000.
No.
You're lucky if you can get, a meeting room for $1,000. So, there are, factors that come into play with regards to demographics and where you're physically located in the world. So, it's all relative. But again, John's show is one that I have gone to every year, with the exception of the appendix year, since I moved to the Midwest, and it's always been a phenomenal show. But something that I think needs to be mentioned, that we haven't talked about, is I came here from the East Coast, being a New Yorker, and there's a lot of chirping and everyone's I have never met a nicer group of people than I have in this group that we have in and John Duneland is kind of on the far eastern side, and Butch O'Hare is directly south of us, and Lakes Region is there, and IPMS Madison, and the Nordicon guys, and the State Line guys. I've never seen a group of modelers from as many different clubs all come together and kind of coalesce to support each other's events, because they all happen in a relatively condensed period of time. So this time of year, we're all traveling back and forth across the Midwest. I'm in the next 3 or 4 weeks, I'm going to be in Indiana, and I'm going to be in Illinois, and I'm going to be in Minnesota, and I'm going to be, back down to Illinois. But that's what makes this so great, is that these guys are running shows that are really kind of bringing the best of the hobby together. And I think that's something that we need to kind of reiterate.
Well, it's a good thing, and Jim, you're sitting over there listening. I know that you've gone to the Nationals. Do you get a chance to go to any of the shows that are not the Nationals?
I've been to one that was in Springfield, Missouri, which is like a 2-hour drive.
Okay.
There's one in Little Rock this weekend, but it's almost a 5-hour drive. And so I'm not going to be able to make that. That's probably the closest. We don't have an IPMS chapter here. The closest one is in Tulsa, which is about 2.5 hours away.
I see.
And so, I would love to find a club to join, even virtually, if and just join in via Zoom or Teams.
Yeah.
But
you'll have to join us. We're our Chattanooga club. We're starting next month. We're going to stream our club meetings virtually and invite anybody that is in your situation that doesn't have a local club to join us virtually and be a part of us, even though you're not here. So more info on that to come.
I do have a goal of wanting to get to more local shows. And so just a matter of fitting it into the schedule.
There you go.
And 411 Taters that you start a club. Now, I will address this because that's exactly what I did. I am halfway between Milwaukee and Madison, Wisconsin, and there's clubs there, but I didn't feel like driving an hour in each direction. Then it becomes 2 hours on the road. So I contacted my regional coordinator, who was me at the time, and
well, that was easily done.
Yeah, well, the guy didn't return my calls for like a week.
What's going on?
But the beauty of that is that you could contact your regional coordinator, and they will provide you with a list of names and emails of IPMS members that are within a certain radius. And then you just reach out to them and say, hey, is there, I'm 30 minutes away, I'm 45 minutes away, I'm 15 minutes away. Is there any interest in putting together a club? And we did that. And we have about 30 people in our little club in the middle of nowhere. And most of them don't belong to the bigger clubs in the cities. And all of a sudden it worked out really well. So, it's crazy because I've looked at customer databases and things, and I've shipped orders to customers and realized they're in the next town over, and I don't even know who they are. I've never met them before.
That's a great idea.
So and really at the end of the day, you need 3-4 guys to hang out with that build. You don't necessarily have to have a club of 30 or 40 or 100 people in order to make it, something fun and
build it and they will come.
Yeah.
Get it started, and you never know where it's gonna end up.
John,
Jeff,
I am halfway between Madison and Milwaukee. I would say the town that I live in is called Ixonia, but nobody knows where the hell that is. So if you're from the area, I would say Economowoc, or slightly west of Waukesha. I'm about 15 minutes west of Waukesha.
Where does your club meet is probably his more specific question.
We meet in Ixonia, literally about 3/4 of a mile from where I live. So I'm the spoiled one. I figured if I'm going to put the club together, I'm going to find the meeting place. So I did. Yeah. So we have a room in the town hall, which is part of our club falls under Parks and Rec. for the township. So, our town endorses us, it lets us be there, and they don't charge us rent, and everything's great, and everybody has a great time. So, John, drop me a line if you're in the area, and we'll coordinate, get you to a club meeting.
There you go. Well, and if anybody has any questions about clubs, of course, the IPMS has their website, ipmsusa.org, and I am available. Shoot me an email. I can point you in the right direction. Jeff can point you in the right direction. We may or may not know the guy, but I guarantee we can find the guy for you in your area. So if you got any questions about clubs, starting clubs, if you want to join our club virtually, that's coming up. We've got this next year, we're gonna try to push the clubs, be it IPMS, be it AMPS, be it unaffiliated organizations. We're going to push modeling as clubs and as events as a whole, and try to make this thing a little bit bigger than it is. So this has been a great evening, John. I hope that your shows are bigger and better than ever.
Absolutely.
I wish I could be there, but Jeff will have to show the flag for us.
I'll be representing. I did have one other event. Unfortunately, I couldn't get someone from State Line. My point of contact is on vacation and running around in South America with his family. He's up in the Andes of Peru or some.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I made a joke about Machu Picchu and Nacho Grande, and then he hasn't talked to me in a couple hours. But State Line area modelers, they are slightly west of Rockford, Illinois. So if you're in the western part of Wisconsin, or if you're in the northern part of Illinois, eastern Iowa, it's a relatively short drive. So it's SamCon, and it's October 4th. 2025 at the Durand United Methodist Church, 102 East Main Street in Durand, Illinois. And you can find them on the IPMS USA website under events. It's a relatively small show. They're a club that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but they have a really great bunch of guys. And we've been trying, everyone in the area again, with the Duneland guys and the Butch O'Hare guys and the Madison guys. We all go down there to support their show and help them grow their show.
Yeah, and I've got the map pulled up here, Jeff, so everybody can get an idea of where these shows are. So there's Duneland.
Yep. Duneland is there.
Butch O'Hare show.
Yep.
And there's the SamCon show. And
there's SamCon. Yep.
And as you guys can see, these are all the other shows that are coming up. I didn't know this map feature was on the IPMS site. Okay. Yep. It's kind of cool. Yeah. You can go to the event map, and this gives you a good idea of where perhaps your closest show is. And after the shows finish up for the year, I think they fall off of this map, but they do pop up as soon as the club puts their event officially in the system for the next year. Yep. But hopefully in the coming weeks, we're going to get some guys from some of the Western shows to come on and talk about their group. So you can see, talking about Duneland and Butch O'Hare, you got all these shows in this same region in the same month or two. They do the same thing everywhere out in California, October, November. There's that one. There we go. November. We do the same thing down in our area. The car show is October, but then skip a couple of months. We have our show in January. You got April, so all of our stuff is in the beginning of the year, except for the Murfreesboro show that's coming up in November. Yep. And a lot of the regions do the same kind of thing. And I know that a lot of our guys down in this area, you see the same guys at the shows. Everybody pitches in to help. So it's a cool thing. And as long as we're all helping each other put these shows on, hopefully these shows can continue to exist into the future. I know I have a blast at them, so I don't want to see them go anywhere.
So, while that map was up, I noticed something, and I knew it's the case with Duneland, but Duneland and our show are in two different regions, even though we're very close.
Right.
State Line Area Modelers is in a third different region.
Yep.
Right. Our shows are all really close to each other, but technically 3 different IPMS regions.
Yep.
Huh.
So the pink
Map.
side, Duneland, is in Region 4,
Yep.
and Butch O'Hare is in the yellow, which is Region 5, and then SamCon is in Region 14, which, but again, all three of those shows are right on the border.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Cool.
An
very,
option.
very cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we'll go ahead and say good evening for now. Anybody in the chat, if you are the John Novak or the John Fluck of your club, or you know the guy that is that guy for your club, get him in touch with us. I'd love to have you on the show with us on a Wednesday night coming up to talk about your show, promote your show, and see, you know, perhaps there's somebody out here listening that doesn't know about your show, and we can spread the word just a little bit and grow these shows, grow the hobby as a whole, and see what we can do.
And I will be at all three. I will be at all 3, 4. I'll be at.
Jim
He
will
lost
be at some
count.
model shows.
I will
Awesome.
be at Duneland. I will be at Butch O'Hare. I will be at State Line. And then and to answer Tom's question, you know, if Brandon will give me a cot in the garage, I'll probably come down for Chattanooga in January.
It's
Hope
going
you
to
do.
be a good one.
Hope you do.
I hope.
Well, I could always stay at Tom's house.
You sure can.
Yeah,
I got a bedroom.
I can sleep in the mudroom next to the washing machine.
And Jim, you can
Yeah.
come too. Just bring your big diorama with you.
Yeah, sounds like we got a road trip in the works.
There you go.
Well, guys, thank you so much, Jim. That diorama was fabulous. Thank you for sharing
Great
with
work,
us, sharing
man.
us some techniques.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, looking forward to
Fantastic.
seeing what you build in the future. John, thank you both for being here. Looking forward to hearing about how your show goes, and perhaps see you back on here sometime in the future, and we'll talk about something else next time.
Thank you, Brandon.
Okay,
Absolutely, guys. Y'all have a good evening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Good to see you guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, guys, I guess that's it for now, isn't it?
I thought it was a good show.
Yeah, it works
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
We worked out, so we'll catch you next time, and
Good luck.
I'll say the goodbyes and catch y'all backstage in a minute.
All right. See you in a bit.
Well, guys, thank you so much. This has been fun. Looked at that diorama, was just fantastic. I hope you picked up a few little tricks and tips along the way. If you've got any questions specific for Jim, shoot me an email. I can get you in touch with him. And as far as the model shows go, same thing. The IPMS website has all the information you need, but if you do have a specific question about a club or a show in your area, get in touch with me. I am more than happy to help you get in touch with the right group, the right club, the right guy, whatever the case may be. Next Wednesday night, we'll be back here, same place, same time, and I am sure there will be some kind of model goodness to talk about. So y'all take it easy, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much.